welcome back to another video.
Today we are talking about Chuck E. Cheese.
Two fights inside this supposedly kid-friendly restaurant.
The Chuck E. Cheese's with my fun.
And the Pizza Time Players.
For those who don't know about Chuck E. Cheese, it's a place where a kid can be a kid, mostly known for their animatronic band that sings songs as kids celebrate birthdays, eat pizza, and play some games. Everyone wanted to have their birthdays at Chuck E. Cheese. Even I did. I did not, but I wanted one. As I was at a birthday at Chuck E. Cheese's, it just felt weird. Like the eyes were following me. It felt very odd. On top of that, years later, I took my ex on a date to Chuck E. Cheese's. I was a grown adult, by the way. I had a great time. That relationship did not end out too well, so I blame you, Chucky, for that. Thank you. But if you don't like animatronics, mascots, and questionably decent pizza, not the one for me. Sorry. But that's not the only weird thing about this restaurant. From bankruptcies to recycled pizzas and jiggle physics, how did we get to the Chucky that we know today?
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
To understand that, we have to go back to the beginning, with the origins of Chuck E. Cheese. The first location opened up on May 17th, 1977, called Chuck E. Cheese's Pizza Time Theater in San Francisco, California by Nolan Bushnell, a co-founder of Atari, and he wanted to open up a freestanding arcade that was kid-friendly, as arcades at the time were more teenage hangout spots and bars were more adult-oriented. That's when he went to Disney, and he took inspiration from the Tiki Room. He decided on animatronics because they were computer-operated and required no labor cost and no break. He chose pizza as it was popular with kids and increased wait time so kids can spend more money on the arcade cabinets. The original concept is very different from what we know today. Originally, Nolan wanted the restaurant to be called Coyote's Pizza, and after his team figured out that he bought a rat costume by accident, they changed the name to Rick Rat Pizza, who was a cigar-smoking rat in New Jersey that insulted the audience and other animatronics, and most of the jokes were sexual innuendos. They later changed the name to Chuck E. Cheese, as Nolan said, it even makes you smile 3 times. No, it doesn't. Example A. Jesus. Chuck E. Jesus. See, not a smile on that face. I always imagined the animatronics being sentient. Hey, sweetheart, how you doing, huh? Walk around like that, you're gonna be getting a promotion. The original Rick Rat died of lung cancer. But Chuck E. Cheese didn't debut alone. The original cast consisted of 5 other animatronics called the Nitwits. This included Krusty the Cat, who was seen as Chucky's opposite, letting Chuck believe that he's the leader of the group, calling the shots. Later being replaced by Mr. Munch. And joining the band, Billy Banjo, who also flirted with the animatronics. Pasquale, the owner of the restaurant, and the Warblets, a trio of singing magpies. And I had to look that up, and that is a group of birds. Had no idea. The more you learn. The animatronics didn't debut as we know them today. They originally started off as portrait shows, as they were made by a mascot costume maker who didn't know how to make animatronics at all and said he would learn along the way. That's a level of confidence that I wish I had. Later came the shelf shows, which were a huge upgrade as they were 3D oriented and still you could only see them from the waist up, but they were a huge hit. And then came the full animatronic suits that we know today. The restaurant was a local success, with Nolan saying that he made 3 times the profit in the same space as other restaurants, and they also grew to 6 to 10 locations in the first 3 years. And Nolan wanted more. But Atari didn't feel the same way and ended up selling Nolan the business for $500,000. Nolan now focusing his full attention on the growth of Chuck E. Cheese, he needed investors. He began aggressively marketing the restaurant as the only 3D animatronic entertainment out of Disney, which wasn't true at all. And he caught the eye of one person, Brock Robertson, who was the largest franchisee owner of the Holiday Inns, and together they struck up a $200 million deal to open up 285 locations. That's when he created Showbiz Pizza within the company to help manage the development program. With the local success, things were looking up for Chucky and the Nitwits, but things changed fast. Brock was tired of being a franchisee owner and wanted to go into business for himself, but he needed his own set of unique characters to compete against Chuck E. Cheese's. That's when he went to the IAAPA, the International Association of Amusement Parks and Attractions. And that's when he met Aaron Fetcher, who Nolan originally described as a guy playing with junk in his garage, but actually tried to hire and buy his company out from him, Creative Engineering. Just 2 weeks before the grand opening of the first franchise location, Brock claimed that the contract was null and void, and the two went to begin a lengthy legal battle. While still in court, he swapped out the Nitwits with the Wolfpack 5, which was a pre-made animatronics that were loaded with new voice lines to represent the new opening of the first location of Showbiz Pizza. Adding insult to injury, they even used the same party supplies from Chuck E. Cheese's. Although they were allowed to continue operation, they had to pay up $750,000 in 14 years of revenue funds to Chuck E. Cheese's. The balls on this man. I'm just genuinely, to be in a legal battle with someone and still doing the thing that you're getting sued for, brass balls. Oh my god. He completely got away with it. The biggest slap to the face was just using the party supplies. I can just imagine you're looking down at the cup and you see Rick Rat. They have Showbiz Pizza just spray painted over Chuck E. Cheese's. Little kid goes up to Rock. I don't think that this is Chuck E. Cheese's. It's not. It's better. It's the Wolfpack 5. Now go run along before I turn your kneecaps in backwards. Here's 5 tokens. Go have a good time. And thus begin the great animatronic race. Showbiz versus Chuck E. Cheese. It was a battle of kids' attention and tokens. But Showbiz didn't come with just the Wolfpack 5. Later, the creative team came up with a group of animatronic characters called the Rockafire Explosion. And these guys are sick. And this consisted of 8 different characters to go against Chuck E. Cheese's. This included Fats the Silverback Gorilla on keyboard, Beach Bear, a polar bear with a laid-back attitude, Mitzi Mozzarella Mouse, a typical teenager girl who loved gossip and was considered loose by the rest of the band. This was definitely made in the 70s or like the late 80s because this shit would not fly today. A lot of you snowflakes wouldn't be able to handle it because you got soft hands. Rolf the Wolf with his puppet Earl, with Rolf being a sarcastic, egocentric, abrasive character with a tendency to be rude to the band and employees at Showbiz, with the bird setting him straight, making jokes about him in the process. And Billy Bob the Brown Bear from Tennessee, he's seen as the company's mascot and also considered sweet and naive. Looney Bird was portrayed as an animatronic and frequently huffed gas to calm himself down. Just cuts back to me at the gas station huffing gas. It's so good. It's so good. I don't huff it, but you cannot tell me that you've never went to a gas station, just breathed in really deep, or like a mechanic shop. Smells delicious. And I almost busted my head on this. I'm telling you, that is not a unique thing to me. People have done that. I don't have a problem, you do. And so just to consider the lineup here, we have Fats, who is a silverback gorilla. Horrifying, would scare the absolute living shit out of me. We have Beach Bear, arguably a high bear. That I'm surprised they didn't have like a weed coming out of his, like, no, that's the 80s, so it was like a big anti-weed thing back then. That he was on something probably. Mitzi Mozzarella Mouse, considered loose by the rest of the band. Do yourself a favor. Don't get with Mitzi, alright? I was with her a week ago and now my shit won't stop itching. Whoa, wait a minute. Take all that back. I did not. Those were jokes. I completely forgot that I just don't know. The two restaurants were rapidly expanding, often opening up within a view of each other. The two became household names, but went about growth in very different ways. Chuck E. Cheese streamlined the animatronics, making them with cheaper materials like wood, foam, and cloth, and the originals were made from latex and fiberglass. This allowed them to diversify the characters like The King, a parody of Elvis who actually sang real Elvis Presley songs, Madame Oink, who was a French pig who was made fun of for her weight, and Dolly Dimples, who was an animatronic hippo who made sexual innuendos to guests and other characters, saying that the men were getting her all hot and bothered. She was equipped with animatronic heaving breasts and was in the cabaret room meant for only parents but couldn't keep the kids out. Why are we going to check it? You get in the car and you shut up and you don't tell your mother. Go sit and have some pizza. I'll be in the room with Miss Dolly Dimples. You get me like no one else does. Her tits just vibrating. Damn it, Daryl! Damn it, Daryl, you've been at Chuck E. Cheese for the past 5 hours. Where is our son? Sorry, went a little bit too overboard with that one. Oh, Daryl, he's our best customer. We cannot get this out of him. He actually tried buying the animatronic a few days ago. Soon, my love. Dad, I want to go home. In a minute! Now, where were we? And Showbiz went a completely different route. They focused on the quality of the characters, as well as more intricate and more exciting shows. But that came at a cost, as each show costed $100,000 to make, and they didn't own the animatronics. Creative engineering did. That means they had to routinely order more shows to keep licensing. The Rockafire stuff was pretty good, okay? If I could have a Mr. Munch or a Chuck E. Cheese costume in the back, I would, but they cost like thousands and thousands of dollars. Only if I was rich. Dolly Dimples wouldn't be in this room, okay? She'd be in a separate one. I wouldn't want the Chuck E. Cheese from the early 2000s or the one that we have now. I hate that one. That one can go right home. I want the one that's sexually harassing everybody, and I want to program the voice lines to be mean as shit to me the moment I walk into the door. With each restaurant expanding as fast as they could, the race came to an alarming halt due to the great video game crash of 1983. With Showbiz unable to continue buying shows, this left the animatronics piling up in warehouses. Chuck E. Cheese was no better, and perhaps an even worse financial ruin, losing $15 million. With the company losing millions, Nolan refused to pull funding from his various other projects, which included a bar named Zappa's, which was an adult-themed Chuck E. Cheese. Each month, they lost $20 million until Nolan ultimately resigned, leaving Chuck E. Cheese's to file for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. With an uncertain future for Chuck E. Cheese and a wounded Rockafire explosion, Showbiz had to close a lot of their stores, and majority of animatronics ended up being scrapped. Surprisingly, Showbiz ended up buying Chuck E. Cheese out, voiding their 14-year-old revenue payments, but the companies were left in shambles. Showbiz ultimately appointed Richard M. Frank to run the newly unified company. And whenever I was reading this, I did not think that the rabbit hole would go this deep, but still, hold on. You hold on? It's gonna get good. It's gonna get good and creepy here in a minute, okay? Trust me. Frank then closed 100 of the restaurants, paid off Robert Cadet, making him a millionaire again, introduced new recipes, changed out chance-based games for skill-based games, and no one over the age of 18 was allowed without a child. Sir, you have to have a kid. Sir, you have to have a kid come in here. You have to have a kid. I got a kid right here. Sir, your kid. That wasn't in the rules. Also, apparently, bar fights happened at Chuck E. Cheese's a lot. I didn't know that they sold beer until I was doing this research, because the one that I went to did not have that at all. If they had one that had like a little shrooms in there or something like that, take one, sit in the back. Dude, I swear to God, these animatronics are talking to me. It looks like he's staring at me. Wait a minute. But running Chuck E. Cheese and Rockafire Explosion locations proved to be difficult. And although Showbiz won the animatronic race, Chuck E. Cheese came out on top. And in the interest of investors, the company went under
Concept unification installation.
company decided to reuse animatronics and reskin them. Employees were sent tapes on how to take off the background props and even the fur and face of the animatronics. Employees were sent tapes on how to take off the background props and even the fur and face of the animatronics. Duke LaRue became Pasquale, and Rolf was reimagined as Chuck E. Cheese, and Billy Bob was sadly destroyed. I like to have a moment of silence for Billy Bob, the brown bear from Tennessee. Present. You will be missed. I don't think there's any amount of money in the world that you could pay me to do that, because that is horrifying. That was a real tape that was sent to Chuck E. Cheese's across the United States. That wasn't like a fan-made game or anything. Did you your pants a little bit? Me too. Go take a 5-minute power break and come back to me. With profits being in the green and now under one brand, everything was looking great for the company, but that wouldn't last for long. As the company already went through constant legal battles and scraped by bankruptcy, new problems and controversies would arise. From the 70s to now, Chuck E. Cheese had to rebrand due to kids' constant change in taste, along with CEOs and investors going in and out. Along with this came the housing crisis of 2010, which hurt profits as families did not have the money to go out. I bet Daryl found the money. Honey, why are you looking through the couch? You know there's nothing in there. I have to see her again, please. He just sits in his car just staring at the restaurant. They can't keep us apart, Dolly. They don't get me like you do. Sir, you have to leave. You guys are still open. It's not loitering. As well as other competitors rising, it was easier to buy them out than to compete. Combining that with legal troubles as one woman sued the company for negligence after falling back in a booth, and another incident with one woman getting her hair cut up in the ticket counter. Okay, first off, what are you doing in the booth? Those things are screwed on tight. I'm not talking about like a weight thing either. That's not the problem here. What are you f***ing doing? Are you rocking back and forth? Had some of that Budweiser Chuck E. Cheese beer. I just don't see how you could put that on someone else. I think it's like the embarrassment of like you falling back and blaming it on something other than you. That wasn't regulation. Sir, you're yelling at the animatronics. That wasn't regulation. And I knew there was a reason. That we lost tickets and we went to these cards. I hate the cards. I hate everything new. I'm old. I don't like change. Anything different scares me. I realize I'm not looking at the camera, so it looks like I'm talking to myself, which I am. This looks awful. From if someone were to look in the window, they keep on talking to themselves. And most notably, the one everyone knows, Shane Dawson. Okay, and I can't say the C word because they're demonetizing people for that. I want to say theories. Theories highlighted by a YouTuber named Shane Dawson over the pizza allegedly being reused to cut costs. Chuck E. Cheese was then flooded with tweets from customers calling them out, posting pictures of other restaurants' pizza, as well as posting their own pictures from Chuck E. Cheese's. Shane was allegedly sent a cease and desist order from the company, which made the theory seem true to many. And during the COVID 2020 pandemic, the restaurants had to close their doors and file for bankruptcy once more. They decided to open up a ghost kitchen named Pasquale's, selling pizzas only by delivery out of their kitchen. It's been a long time, but I genuinely think I was one of the people that were scammed through this shit. The same pizza, they're lying. I mean, pizza's pizza, I'll eat anything. I love Little Caesars, so that shows you kind of my quality assurance on that one, so take that with a grain of salt. And the way that they excused this was that Pasquale's was a higher elevation of fine dining than what you would get in Mr. Cheese's, okay? The menu featured premium pizza and wings that the company claimed were distinct from the in-store version, with thicker crust, extra sauce, or a more diverse set of wing flavors compared to Chuck E. Cheese's, the Korean barbecue, or the Louisiana hot honey, which left many customers conflicted, which was me. I was conflicted. You lied to me. I'm trying to make my eyes go cross-eyed or cockeyed. Tragically, a former employee shot up the restaurant, killing 4 other employees, and eyes turned to the company during the release of the Five Nights at Freddy's, with some speculation of the shootings inspiring the game's creation. I knew during my research I could not get through this without running into some Five Nights at Freddy's conspiracy bull. See that? I love Five Nights at Freddy's. You know, movie's not that great, but anything Scott Cawthon out, I'm going to shovel down my throat. I don't care what it is, but I really wanted to see how long it would take before I got to this theory. And not surprisingly, it lasted like maybe 10 minutes and then I found this. They should be saying thank you to Freddy Fazbear's, but I don't know if that made revenue sales. It could just be a whole bunch of kids just lining up in the windows. They are real. No, he's not Springtrap for the 80th time. He's in a mascot costume and he's a drunk. What do you want me to say, huh? Why does he smell like that? I think himself. No, I didn't. Continuing on employee crimes, some locations were being sued on management sexually assaulting or sexually harassing minors, as well as one employee stealing a credit card. Jermel Jones was arrested after fraudulent charges were linked to him. He was promptly arrested, put in handcuffs, and then led out of the restaurant in full costume as he was entertaining kids.
He's a criminal. What would you like to know?
I would like y'all to walk out the door with some traumatizing all these children seeing somebody like Chuck E. Cheese. Would y'all put Mickey Mouse in handcuffs?
Have a good night.
Have a good night. I will.
The video is just so good. I was a dramatic ass kid. If that happened to me, Chucky, no! How do you do that with a straight face? Do you think they made him keep the mascot costume on while he was in jail? You know I always had a thing for Chucky. Get me out. Get me out! Why is there a hole in the Chucky costume? I don't want to talk about it. But what about the future of Chuck E. Cheese? The platform has continuously changed over time, but one thing has remained constant. Each restaurant has had an animatronic character until now. Like Rockefire's Billy Bob, they were...
Ladies and gentlemen, it's showtime! With Pasquale the Chef, Jasper T. Jowls, Mr. Munch, Helen, and your host.
Oh my god, my dream of having a full-size Chuck E. Cheese in my room is now gone. Thank you so much for that, Chuck E. Cheese. But now you can only see Chuck E. Cheese at the locations when he comes out for dance parties. And if I'm paying that much for a show, he better be busting it the down. Talking about b-boy, K-pop style, spinning on the head, the whole 9 yards. If you didn't want to go to the restaurant locations and you still wanted Chucky in your own home, you could look on YouTube, featuring him and the band as puppets, singing songs as well as animated Christmas specials with the voice actor Nathan Kress, and live streaming on Twitch.
Poggers!
I forgot the name of what they call it, but it's a disappointment. Not only did they get rid of the animatronics, they redesigned Chucky altogether. He's now only 3D, and if you look at the before and after pictures, it looks like someone sobered up. I fucking hate this character. I hate him, hate him, I hate him. But along with that came a new backstory. Originally, he was a trash-talking rat who would make fun of people on stage and in the audience. Now, he is an orphan that aged out of the system, went homeless, slept in a pizza parlor, and then almost got killed by Pasquale until he realized Chuck E. Cheese could sing. No one lives under this roof for free. They also introduced a new arcade where you could see the few animatronics that were saved, which is pretty sad because you can only see them in this glass case. The robot parts aren't even there. They're just put on like a mannequin almost, it looks like, and they're stuck in these weird poses. And I'm assuming that they're doing this to make money off nostalgia, but what can you do? I'm a sucker. They would make money off me. The thing is, they can make so much money off nostalgia alone. Having museums, having traveling animatronic shows, introducing better animatronics. The creative tools are there. You know what? Chuck E. Cheese, hire me. I'll do your marketing. No problem. They're interviewing me. So what makes you the best applicant for the chief marketing officer of Chuck E. Cheese's? Well, you may have seen a thing called Five Nights at Freddy's. I be all the games. Like, get the out. Call my number once you need me. Although there have been many attempts to rebrand and maximize profits and cutting costs as much as humanly possible, Chuck E. Cheese, as we know it, may be coming to an end. Chuck E. Cheese is now in $600 million of debt they have to pay off by May of 2026. Hold on, let me do some quick math. They now have a new deal called the Birthday Capital of the Universe, which is a birthday party for $99.99 plus tax. 2 hours of unlimited gameplay, a $40 kid value, so that's not unlimited gameplay, just saying. The Chuck E. Cheese's birthday show, new birthday blaster experience. What the f is that? Upgraded prizes for the whole party, an incredible menu kids love. Is the food paid for? Okay. That's how many birthday parties they need to have between now and May of 2026. I think we could do it. Chief Marketing Officer Mark Kupferman calling it fairly common, as well as getting defensive, arguing with fans online, and his overall response was, sometimes you forget that I do not have to be here. You guys have a direct link to the top of the company you claim to care so much about, as well as saying, who decides what is offensive to me? Me. And I don't care if you think my standard is reasonable or not. For those of you who are skeptical, I ask you to remember one thing. We didn't have to do any of this. We didn't need to try to save this stage in any way, shape, or form. We have already announced that we are done saving stages. I could have left this one alone and not done anything, and nobody would have been any wiser. If you use any pictures of me, you can count on me blocking you, period. Oh, hold on. Okay, guys, I think we're in the clear. I just want to say that I do not want the company to go down. I want that to be said. I may be bashing them just a little bit, but I don't want to see them fail. But you gotta be honest. The company's been a little bit of a dumpster fire ever since its original opening. Across decades, Chuck E. Cheese has been transferred from his original creator to competitors to stockholders, each success and failure being woven into the ever-changing appearance in a last-ditch effort to entertain kids like he once did. Each owner sewing together a new look, a new story, stripping away friends and adding new ones. This may be the time that Chuck E. Cheese's corpse couldn't be reanimated, and he will finally be put to rest. Or we go with my idea. Completely bust out the animatronics, make them Disney level quality. I'm talking about beating Tangled, okay? Listen to me. Listen, you paying attention, paying attention? Or we go the nostalgic route. We make them aggressive animatronic killers, okay? Bite of 87, full 9 yards. You're gonna make millions selling tickets to people wanting to come in. Chuck E. Cheese wants to reach out to me, feel free to. I have a million great ideas in my back pocket, but you have to make the first move. You gotta call me first. I'm sorry. That's not how I work. Overall, it's kind of sad to see it kind of go down the shitter like this. I don't think anyone likes the animated mouse, but I gotta say, the Christmas special looked pretty good. Okay? I hope you all enjoyed this week's video, but I hope you have a great day, drive safe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye!